Rod from Fleet Auto News again, and look what I've brung today, the new Ford Ranger Super Duty. 3 out of the top 4 selling vehicles in this country are utes: Ranger, Hilux and D-Max. So how does the Super Duty fit into this market? How does it sit with the suitability for fleets? That's what we're going to be looking at today. Super Duty really is for fleets a turnkey proposition. It's made for fleets. In fact, Ford actually spoke to fleets at length for years before they even designed this vehicle. So we're going to look at all that today and ask, what does it bring for fleets? Well, I can tell you straight up, it brings capability. So let's have a look at the numbers and see how it goes. Is the Super Duty fit for purpose for fleets? Whole of life costs. Generally, the retail market and novated lease buyers don't pay a lot of attention to it. It's more an emotive decision than sometimes an analytical one. But for a fleet manager expending company or government funds, it's absolutely critical they pay attention to the whole of life costs for the vehicle, because they have to make sure that this vehicle is fit for their purpose and what's it going to cost them. As I've just said, it's more about what the vehicle can do rather than aesthetics for a fleet manager. But that's not to say its looks, its style are not important. They are, most certainly. Ford very much has in mind the recreational market as well for the Super Duty, with a new pickup version due to be released in the coming months. Well, Super Duty is a game changer in the fleet market. With its balance of comfort, capability, performance, it exceeds everything its competitors has to offer. It's 4.5 tonnes GVM, 4.5 tonnes brake towing capacity, and 8 tonnes gross combination mass. So let's have a look at the numbers for Super Duty and see how they stack up. Got this slide here for you now. Well, who are Super Duty's competitors? To be honest, it's hard to list many of them because not many vehicles can match what Super Duty can do. But who are they? Well, today we're going to look at maybe the 79 series or some of the big American utes. Think Silverado, Ford F-150, Dodge Ram. All of those 3 American utes, though, are petrol vehicles, where the 79 series and the Super Duty are diesel. For today's look at whole of life costs, we've chosen for comparison the Toyota 79 LandCruiser and the Chevrolet Silverado, as I've driven both of these vehicles in the past and they suit the criteria for what a fleet would be looking for in a large utility vehicle. Here's the costs in comparison to whole of life costs now. Let's have a look in the office here of the Super Duty, the driver's seat. Got some nice fabric seats here, very nice indeed. Some people say it looks utilitarian in here, but I think it's really cool. And for a fleet driver, what you need is comfort, not leather seats necessarily. So just hop on in here. It's quite easy getting into the Super Duty. Big grab handles to use. And there's our fully digital instrument display there. It says we're doing 0, which is very good, because we are. And we look over here, this big, beautiful infotainment screen. It's fantastic. Underneath it, we've got the charge mat down here, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, whatever your flavour is in the phone. There's wireless charging for your phone there. I've got Apple CarPlay going here at the moment, but really cool feature on Super Duty is the onboard scale. So I'll just push the button up here, select onboard scales, and then it comes up, there we are. It's telling us there it's set for a baseline of plus 75 kilos, so allowing for a bit of load to do with the tray on the back, and then all that space there up till you get to the red line, well, it's telling you it's 1825 kilograms. That's weighing what you're putting into the vehicle for you. How cool is that? We have down here good old knobs for the air conditioning and the volume on the radio, push buttons for the fan speed. Got all that happening. Some good storage space over here. We've got the upper and lower glove boxes, complete with being stamped as Super Duty, just in case you forget it is one. And then this really interesting little metal bar here. No, it's not a grab handle. It's actually a mounting point for some of the emergency vehicles. Think police, SES, stuff like that, where they need to mount another screen in here or some radio equipment or something like that, and they don't have to drill a hole in the dashboard. That's really cool. All the usual other things: gear selector, four-wheel drive selector, terrain mode selections, electric park brake, and center console here for storage. How would you go with your laptop in here? Well, not 100% sure. You're turning around an awful lot. I don't know of a kit they're planning to bring out with a little table you could put your laptop on or similar, but you could do it pretty easily, but I wouldn't want to be doing it for too long. But that's inside the driver's seat of the Super Duty. Very nice. I am driving the Super Duty, and I've got to say, it's comfortable. So such a big, heavy, tough four-wheel drive type vehicle, the ride quality, and I've been on all sorts of country roads, expressways, urban work, dirt roads, off-track, all this week, and it's proven itself to be quite comfortable. How's the acceleration? We're just coming up to 100 zone, so we'll test that in a second if the little guy in front of me gets out of the way. But the ride quality just rides the bump smoothly, and something that's this big and this tough doesn't need to be that comfortable. Here's the 100 zone, foot down. And there's the 100. Is it as fast as the standard Ranger? No, it's a little duller than that, but the motor is detuned for emission reasons. Loses a bit of power, but the torque's the same. But then it weighs a lot more too, so you've got to factor that in. It does get up and go, but if you're looking for a quick overtake on the highway, plan well and get out there. It will do it, by word it will, but it's not explosive by any means. Once you're up and cruising, how easy is it to set the cruise control? 1, 2, done. And we're now cruising along comfortably. Other features in here, it has a lumbar support. Thank you. Fleet drivers need support in their back. So that's really excellent it's got that. Well, how good does the Super Duty look? Looks pretty good to me. Just it's a Ranger, but it's bigger and wider than the Ranger, about the same width and height as the Ranger Raptor, but with even more capability for off-road. Comes standard with the 33-inch all-terrain tyres, and look at this, 8 wheel studs. That's massive. Need them for the extra clamping force required because of the high axle load this vehicle can carry. But she's looking pretty good. Black's probably not the best colour out in the bush, but hey, you can always wash it a lot. Speaking of washing, if you get your hands dirty, there's a nice little kit on the back here. These are all optional, of course, but little hand washing station comes in handy. On the back here, we've got the big metal tray, because it is a cab chassis, this one. The pickup is due out later in the year. Big Super Duty vehicle, in case you forgot what it was. And I think it's just an absolute stunner of a vehicle, because it's not only got to have the capabilities to be fit for purpose for fleets, even the fleet managers still want it to look good because they probably want to sell it at some time, and who's going to buy it then? But Ford has very much also marketed this vehicle towards the recreational four-wheel drive market as well. Big sealed snorkel system there, standard on all the Ranger Super Duties, but it's one tough, good-looking four-wheel drive unit. I think it's a real beauty. Sales volume is yet to be seen for the newly released Super Duty, but the signs are good, with Ford reporting a never-seen-before response to the Super Duty, driving their confidence in their 2026 sales of this vehicle as well as their market position. Ford Australia's national fleet team provides tailored business solutions for your fleet, including vehicle selection, finance and maintenance programs, all supported by its large dealer network. And depending on the size of fleet you have, they have 4 tailored business programs for fleets: blue, silver, gold and platinum. So Ford Australia and its fleet team are really out there to help support your business and your fleet. And they also have the Ford Pro app online portal to help you as well.
Well, should fleet managers purchase the Super Duty for their fleets? The numbers are certainly looking good for Super Duty, especially against its selected competitors. Let's take a look at the chart.
Super Duty is built for fleets, based on what fleets have been asking for. It's being designed to answer a problem that's gone unanswered for years. Fleets don't have to modify it and invalidate the warranties on their vehicle to get it fit for purpose for the job. That's the whole point. There's no GVM upgrades needed. The vehicle's stylish and comfortable to use every day for all users, and to be honest, it's heads and shoulders above any of its potential competitors. It's good whole of life costs, good workspace ergonomics. It's comfortable, great drivability, very comfortable drive over distances, and it has the look backed up by its capabilities that is no doubt going to win it street cred, both in the car park, on and off-road, and in the driver's driveway. So the question is the Super Duty fit for fleets? Absolutely. It's a turnkey proposition. No having to upgrade or modify the vehicle, apart from what you might need to do for specific industries, think mining, agriculture, infrastructure, all that sort of stuff. But it's ready to go right now. Class leading, well, it's the only one in this class to be honest, but it is absolutely fit for purpose for fleets, if you're looking for a large utility vehicle. But let us know what you think. Do you prefer one of the competitors I spoke about? Do you prefer another vehicle that would be up against the Super Duty? And even one you'd like us to review? Let us know in the comments down below. Always love that feedback. And while you're there, don't forget to hit that like button down there, as well as the subscribe button. That way you can be kept up to date with everything we're doing here at Fleet Autos News. I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I'm Rod, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.